911, where is the emergency?
Not emergency. Actually on the Belmar Bridge, right after heading south in the middle of the bridge, there's a car that's abandoned. It's off to the side of the road, but...
The Belmar Bridge being the 35 bridge?
Yeah, the 35 bridge would be going from north going south.
Into Belmar?
Into Belmar, yeah.
Right. Hey, did you pass the midpoint? Because up to the midpoint is Neptune, and after the midpoint is Belmar.
Yeah, Neptune, actually. Technically, it was after... It looked like it was more on the Neptune side.
So what kind of car is it?
Kind of looks like an old, beat-up, light tan-colored, sedan.
And what was your name, sir?
So if it's okay, I'd just rather be anonymous.
And this is your cell number?
Yeah, I'm driving Uber and Lyft tonight, so I just figured I'd give a call in, because it's kind of hard to see, I think, if you're coming the other way.
And was there anybody inside the vehicle?
I looked, no.
Okay.
Unless they were sleeping. I couldn't see them by their head being up. Nobody was in it.
It was 2:46 in the morning on December 3rd, 2016. The winter air hung heavy and freezing over the Jersey Shore. On the Route 35 bridge, a concrete artery connecting the towns of Neptune and Belmar, the world was silent, save for the hum of tires on asphalt and the dark, churning currents of the Shark River below. An Uber driver, making his way across the span, slowed his vehicle. Something felt wrong. In the breakdown lane, bathed in the sickly yellow glow of the street lamps, sat a silver 1994 Oldsmobile 88. It was parked haphazardly. No hazard lights blinked against the darkness. No driver stood by the guardrail checking a flat tire. The car was a ghost, abandoned in the middle of the night. When police arrived moments later, they peered through the driver's side window. The keys were still dangling in the ignition. The car was unlocked. It belonged to a 19-year-old aspiring artist named Sarah Stern. But Sarah was gone. For the first responders, the tableau told a story they had seen too many times before. An abandoned car on a high bridge, keys left behind, a driver missing. It almost always points to a jumper. It suggests a moment of desperate finality, a young person overwhelmed by the weight of the world stepping into the void. The initial investigation pivoted instantly to a recovery mission. Boats were launched into the freezing river. Divers braved the murky depths. Helicopters scanned the coastline, looking for a body drifting toward the Atlantic. The narrative seemed tragic but simple, a suicide. But as detectives would soon discover, the darkness surrounding Sarah Stern's disappearance didn't come from the water below. It didn't come from depression or an impulse to end her life. The darkness was standing on the shore, watching the boat search. It was holding the hand of Sarah's grieving father. It was wearing the face of her best friend. This is the story of Sarah Stern, a girl who practiced reckless optimism, and the best friends who betrayed her in the most calculated, cold-blooded way imaginable. To understand the horror of what happened, you first have to understand the light that was extinguished. Sarah Lee Stern was not just a statistic. She was a vibrant, creative force. Born in Neptune City, she was the kind of person who refused to be defined by a single label. She was an athlete, a swimmer and a softball player, but her soul belonged to the arts. She sketched, she painted, and she lived much of her life in the digital world, finding a community on YouTube where she could be her quirky, authentic self. Her high school yearbook quote became her life's motto: practice reckless optimism. For Sarah, this wasn't just a phrase, it was a survival strategy. In 2013, tragedy struck the Stern home when Sarah's mother, Carla, passed away from cancer. It was a devastating blow for a teenager, leaving a void that could never truly be filled. It left Sarah and her father, Michael, as a duo against the world. They were close, incredibly close. They texted constantly. They relied on each other. Despite the loss, Sarah pressed forward. By 2016, she was attending Brookdale Community College, studying TV production. She She had dreams of traveling, perhaps moving to Canada to see the snow and start a new chapter. She was looking forward, not backward. However, there were people in her life who were looking at something else entirely. They were looking at her inheritance. Enter Liam McCatasney and Preston Taylor. Liam was Sarah's oldest friend. They had grown up together, their friendship spanning years of school hallways and shared secrets. Preston was another close confidant. He had even been Sarah's date to the junior prom. Together, the three of them were inseparable. They called themselves the Squad. They ate dinner together, drove around listening to music, and spent hours at the Stern family home. Michael Stern trusted these boys. He viewed them as extended family, the brothers Sarah never had. He had no reason to suspect that for 6 months, Liam McCatasney had been meticulously planning to kill his daughter. The motive was as old as time: greed. Sarah had recently stumbled upon a secret. While cleaning out a family property in Avon by the Sea, she found a shoebox belonging to her late mother. Inside was roughly $25,000 in cash. It was old money, bills from the 1980s, some of them tattered, smelling of age and dust. It was a small fortune for a college student. Excited and trusting, Sarah told Liam that discovery signed her death warrant. On December 2nd, the day Sarah vanished, surveillance cameras captured her at a bank drive-thru. In the passenger seat sat Liam McCatasney. Sarah withdrew the money, believing she was preparing for her future. The footage shows her smiling, waving to the teller. There is no fear in her eyes. She is with her best friend. She feels safe. Hours later, she would be dead. When Sarah didn't come home and her car was found on the bridge, the community rallied. And leading the charge was Liam. This is where the story turns from a crime into a psychological thriller. Liam McCatasney didn't run. He didn't hide. He embedded himself in the investigation. He sat in Michael Stern's living room, sleeping on his couch, eating his food. He looked the grieving father in the eye and spun a web of lies.
Yeah, between 1 and 2, we went to Taco Bell.
Let me ask you, did you have your phone around then?
I did actually, yeah. It wasn't until I went to work that I realized I didn't have it on me. I went to the neighbor's house at one point. I couldn't even tell you what time that was, but
Which neighbor?
the Drapers.
Were you with her when you went over there?
Yeah.
She was with you?
We had she had a bunch of stuff. I know that we had one big gray container, and I actually have a few of these in my basement right now.
Of hers?
Of hers, yeah. If you guys want to go through those, she's just been trying to get stuff out of the house away from her dad.
What's her reasoning for wanting to get the stuff out of her father's?
I mean, I know that her dad's taken money from her in the past.
Okay.
I think her mom was supposed to leave her money or something. I know she definitely has a lot of trust issues with her dad.
What's going on with her? Like, how's she been acting lately? The same? Different?
No.
Liam, you've known her since first grade, you said.
Yeah.
Has she been different than normal lately?
Well,
and for how long?
in the past, she has had a tendency to have self-destructive, suicidal behavior. I actually know that
How long ago?
years ago.
And what was it that she would be self-destructive and suicidal? Sorry,
It was over
stepping on you.
something her dad did. I'm not too sure because it was, I think it was my freshman year, sophomore year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my second year of college right now.
4 or 5 years ago.
But I remember being with my girlfriend. She was completely obsessed with my girlfriend. And something happened with her dad. My girlfriend had to leave to go take care of her because she was saying, if you don't come here right now, I'm going to kill myself. Taco Bell first, then to the Drapers, and then you left. Then to her house. Then to her house. Hung out.
Right.
I left.
What time was that around?
4:45.
45.
Yeah.
And then you worked till when?
I worked until 10 o'clock.
Okay.
I was supposed to work until midnight, but I got off at 10 o'clock.
And you just came back here?
Yeah, I went back there.
Who was with you?
My roommate.
He told detectives that Sarah was unstable. He claimed she had been suicidal for months. He painted a picture of a girl desperate to escape a toxic relationship with her father. He told them she wanted to get away. She talked about going to Canada. She talked about jumping. He was planting the seeds of a narrative.
Second? Can I come in and talk to you real quick?
Yeah, no problem, officer.
Is Sarah here by chance?
No.
When was the last time you talked to her?
I was with her today.
What time?
Before I went to work.
So it was earlier today?
Yeah.
When was the last time you had any kind of contact at all with her? Turn some light on if you don't mind.
I mean, we went to get food today.
You went to work at what time?
4:30.
Okay, so you haven't talked to her since 4:30? You have a cell phone you can reach out to her on?
I actually haven't been able to find my cell phone.
Any idea where it's at?
Calling it all day.
What was her mindset last time you talked to her?
I just know she's been trying to get away. And tell me she's going to Canada.
Trying to get away, okay. Canada, she been real depressed lately?
Her dad is crazy.
Okay, and then she's dealing with the loss of her mother. Her dad's in Florida right now, right?
Her dad, yeah.
He was giving the police a solution that didn't involve murder, and for a while, it worked. Without a body, and with the best friend vouching for her mental state, the police treated it as a missing person case, likely a suicide. But cracks began to form. Detectives found Sarah's passport in her bedroom. If she had run away to Canada, why leave her identification behind? They found her clothes, her makeup, and most damning of all, her dog, Buddy. Sarah adored that dog. Friends said she treated Buddy like a human child. The idea that she would leave him locked in a crate while she disappeared forever simply didn't fit the profile of the girl they knew. For weeks, the case stalled. The search boat stopped running. The yellow tape came down. It seemed like the perfect crime, but Liam McAtasney had a fatal flaw. He couldn't keep his mouth shut. 7 weeks after Sarah disappeared, a young horror filmmaker named Anthony Curry came to the police. Anthony was a former high school classmate of Liam's. He told investigators a story that made their blood run cold. He said that back on Thanksgiving, a week before Sarah died, Liam had pitched him an idea for a movie. "I have this script idea," Liam had said. "A guy strangles his friend, steals her inheritance, and throws her off a bridge to make it look like a suicide." At the time, Anthony thought it was just macabre creativity. But when news broke of Sarah's car on the bridge, Anthony realized he hadn't been hearing a pitch. He had been hearing a plan. The police needed more than a movie pitch. They needed a confession. They convinced Anthony to participate in a dangerous sting operation. They wired his car with hidden cameras and microphones and sent him to meet with the suspect. On January 31st, 2017, Anthony picked Liam up. He played it cool, steering the conversation toward the police investigation. And then, feeling safe in the privacy of a friend's car, Liam let the mask slip.
What's up, buddy? How you doing? You can't blame me for doing this, right? I gotta feel you up real quick, alright? No disrespect. I'll show you. No disrespect, okay? Nothing. Yeah, I got the FBI on my ass, dude. What are they questioning? Oh yeah, a lot. About what? About killing Sarah. They've been, they were up my ass. First it was just normal police. They were on my ass and I had to go in and get interrogated by them multiple times. But then it kept moving up levels and now it's a federal case. And got the FBI. So you've been laying low, I guess. Oh yeah. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part of it is I thought I was walking out 50 grand, 100 grand in my pocket. She had one safe and she took money out and she only had 10 grand. And this money, I don't know if it was brick or something. It's fucking old money, terrible quality. I don't even know if I can put any of it in the fucking bank. Right, because it'll probably look sketchy, right? Look sketchy and it'll look like it's Sarah's money, especially if it's a federal investigation. Right. So what, do you have it hidden? Yeah. Where'd you hide it? Sandy Hook. First it was in my house for a long time, but then I stopped trusting Preston. Yeah, what's the deal with Preston? Was he... No, he's cool. Did he end up, helping you or not? Oh, yeah. I had planned Sarah's situation for me to
be interrogated by cops. Like, that was whole part of my plan, to make me look not guilty. Like,
Did you then still out for it?
you didn't hear about it? It was all over the news.
Right, but I didn't know if you, like, solicited it.
Yeah. And the worst part is, we threw her off the bridge, and the body never showed up.
The audio recording captured that day is one of the most chilling pieces of evidence ever played in a courtroom. Liam didn't just confess, he narrated the murder with the pride of an accomplished director. He complained about the money first. He told Anthony, "I thought I was walking out with 50 grand, 100 grand in my pocket. She only had 10,000, and this money, it's burnt or something. It's terrible quality. I don't even know if I can put it in the bank." He was annoyed. He had killed his best friend and the payout wasn't high enough. Then he described the killing. He told Anthony he went to Sarah's house. He surprised her. He described choking the life out of her. "It took me half an hour to kill her," he said, his voice flat and devoid of empathy. He even mentioned checking a timer on his phone because he was surprised at how long she fought. And in a detail that broke hearts everywhere, he spoke about the dog. "Her dog laid there and watched as I killed her," Liam said. "It didn't do anything." He then explained the logistics. He couldn't lift Sarah's body by himself. Dead weight was heavier than he anticipated. So he called for backup. He called Preston Taylor. Preston, the prom date, came to the house. Together, they hid Sarah's body in the bushes in her own backyard so they could go to work and establish an alibi. Later that night, they returned. They stuffed Sarah into the passenger seat of her own Oldsmobile. Liam drove her car. Sarah's body slumped beside him, while Preston followed in his own vehicle. They drove to the bridge. In the dead of night, they dragged her body to the railing and threw her into the black water. "We threw her off the bridge and the body never showed up," Liam bragged on the tape. He laughed about how he had fooled the police, calling the detectives dumb. He believed he had won. He was wrong.
So we appreciate you coming down and talk to us. Obviously, we're very concerned about Sarah. Who do you live with, Liam?
I live with my roommate, Preston Taylor.
You friends with Sarah also?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we all went to high school together.
Was she ever your girlfriend?
No. We actually have reason to believe that she could be a lesbian. She has been known to obsess over girls in the past, though. One of my ex-girlfriends, a few years ago, she was completely obsessed with her. She just would always say stuff like, "Maggie, if you don't come here right now, I'm going to kill myself." Or there have been multiple occasions where my ex-girlfriend Maggie has had to go to the Draper's house to help her with either her dad. I can't say for sure if her dad was going to do something, but there has been a few occasions where she said, "My dad's going to hurt me or I'm going to hurt myself" in the past. I can't say that anything's ever gotten violent, but I know that there's a lot of fighting all the time. It's just constant fighting between her and her father.
What about school?
Last year, she did a full year of school. And this year, she hasn't even registered for classes.
You know why?
Canada, I guess. She's just insane. She needs to get away. Go to Canada. Get away from her dad.
Do you think her behavior was odd?
Yeah. I didn't think it at first, but she's always wanted to go to Canada. She's always been obsessed with Canada.
Armed with the tape, police arrested Preston Taylor first. Confronted with the evidence, Preston crumbled.
Liam had lifted Sarah's body by the shoulders and gotten her partially up onto the curb, where I then grabbed her by the legs and hoisted her up onto the railing, and then I pushed her feet over so that she was going over the rest of the way.
He pleaded guilty and agreed to testify against Liam. He led police to 2 buried safes in local parks where they had hidden the stolen cash. Liam McAtasney was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, but the drama wasn't over. Liam refused to plead guilty. He hired a defense team that came up with a strategy so bizarre it stunned the courtroom. During the trial in 2019, the defense argued that the confession tape, the detailed graphic admission of strangulation, was an audition. They claimed Liam knew Anthony was a filmmaker and was simply improvising a scene to impress him. They argued that because Sarah's body was never found, there was no proof she was even dead. They suggested she might still be in Canada living off the grid, but the jury had to weigh that theory against the testimony of Michael Stern. Sarah's father took the stand. A broken man, he dismantled the lies about Sarah's mental state. He read their text messages to the court, messages full of love, inside jokes, and plans for the future. He showed the jury that Sarah wasn't running away from him. She was running toward her life. The jury also watched a video of Liam and Michael Stern during a search party weeks after the murder. In the footage, Liam is seen whispering to a friend while looking at the water, "I don't think she's coming out." It wasn't a worry. It was an observation. On February 26, 2019, justice finally arrived. The jury found Liam McAdasney guilty on all counts: murder, robbery, desecration of human remains, and conspiracy. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Preston Taylor received 18 years for his role as the accomplice. Sarah Stern's body was never recovered. Oceanographers testified that the aggressive tides of the Shark River Inlet likely swept her out into the vast Atlantic within 24 hours of being thrown from the bridge. For Michael Stern, the verdict brought legal closure, but it could not bring peace. He lost his only child, the last link to his late wife. He lost her not to a stranger, but to the boys who sat at his dinner table, the boys he trusted to protect her. But the story of Sarah Stern is not just about the monsters who took her life. It is about the community that refused to let her be forgotten. Today, if you walk across the Route 35 bridge in Belmar, you might see flowers tucked into the chain link fence. On the anniversary of her death, friends and family gather there. They don't look down at the dark water with fear. Instead, they toss colorful bouquets into the tide. They share stories of a girl who loved art, who loved her dog, and who believed that optimism was a brave choice in a hard world. Sarah Stern's life was stolen for a handful of dirty cash, but her spirit remains untouchable. She practiced reckless optimism until the very end, and in the face of such profound betrayal, her loved ones continue to do the same, remembering the artist, the daughter, and the friend who saw the world in bright, beautiful colors. This case stands as a chilling, permanent reminder. Sometimes the most dangerous threat isn't the stranger lurking in the shadows.
Sometimes it's the person smiling next to you in the photograph.